Laborious Lovers. Today by
Diana Campisi, Miguel Torres, and Yaya Laraki.
Sometimes we ask ourselves if doing a lab is a good idea. Is the time going to worth it? How I am going to manage the workload? A lab is going to be useful at the time to get a job? These questions and more are the ones that our laborious lovers who are already successfully working are going to answer.
In this episode 12, we will introduce you to Raúl García. As part of IE's class of 2019, Raúl is from the village of Cuellar, Segovia, joining the communications lab during his spell at the university. Raúl, a veteran from IE, will definitely share valuable memories and advice that could help any prospective student. Raúl, how are you?
I'm so happy to have you and to be part of the communications lab again and to work with you guys. And as I know that what the lab is about and the work you're doing, so I'm so happy to help you.
Of course, it's a pleasure to have you here. We have a lot of questions for you.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'm going to start with the first one, which is, what was your first impression when hearing about the labs?
At the beginning, I didn't know what the labs were about, but as I was friends with second-year communication students, they told me about their experience in previous year while they were in first-year communications at IE. And they told me that they had a great experience working with real clients and real projects. So I decided to roll in the communications lab in 2016. With also my friends from my bachelor. And I saw it as a really good opportunity to start engaging with real world, but because at first year you start studying different subjects like are really general. You don't really focus on one real subject, like you approach many different sides of communication. And I wanted to explore how real life and how real work was about. So it was a great opportunity for me.
I definitely agree. I think it's a fantastic resource. As you said, you have a lot of expectations when you first join it. So the second question is, when you joined it finally, did it meet your expectations? Did it meet your first impression?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I realized that it was a really hard work because you had to work a lot on communications level with all the professors, for example, Diana and David, that always help you. I thought at the beginning, you are at first year and you think you're not going to work that much, or that you have finished the course, like you have finished first year, and now that you're not going to have that much effort. But I realized that you had to spend more hours than what I thought at the beginning, because if you wanted to have really good results and really good impressions on the clients, you had to put all the efforts on it. It was not like something you do in class, because when you do things in class, you can fail, but still you can pass the course. You can do things wrong. But now that you're dealing with real clients and have to do great things, you have to put all your efforts on it and make the most out of it.
Hi, Raul. So I'm going to ask you the next question. So a lot of the things that have been something for us is the workload. So what is an advice that you can give future students that do the labs to manage the amount of workload?
I think there's a lot of workload, but as you know that at IE University, you are used to work in teams from the very first beginning. So I think the best way to manage it is to sit with your team and establish from the very first moment what are the roles. Let's say the roles, because you're going to manage everything while you're working at the lab. So if one of you is very good at camera, or one of you is very good at filming or editing or writing, you have to split that work and work in teams so the process can be easily done. If you don't have that communication between the group, then you're going to spend more hours than what it takes normally. From my experience, my first year and second year at the communications lab is that. And also, one advice that I've seen now that with the perspective and with the years is that you have to take the most out of it, because when you are first year, it's like an opportunity to do, and it's not extracurricular, like it's not a real internship in a real company, but still you work with real clients. So it's the first impression you're getting from the real world, and it's going to help you in the future in how to deal with the clients, how to deal with the people, with the bosses, how to deal with projects and meetings, because at the end you're doing not the same amount of work, but what you're dealing with it. And that's one of the advice that I will give to myself in the past. Like, keep working, because it's gonna help you nowadays that I've been working for 2 years. I'm completely sure that it helped me to deal with my daily work now.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that teamwork is the best way to go with these labs. So, second question, is there a particular experience from the labs that you want to share?
Well, I liked most of the experiences how to deal with the audiovisual part of communication. I remember filming with Talgo. I remember filming with Tiermes. Yeah, it's Tiermes. And working with them and dealing with real projects and real briefs. And I remember that it was encouraging, like, to see how the companies trusted us. We were like 18, 19, 20 years old, and they trusted us. They trusted the process. They trusted our strategies. They trusted our ideas. So I'm really thankful to those experiences, because it helps you to keep proposing things and keep believing in your ideas. And I think that all those experiences working until late, because you have to film somewhere far from Segovia or far from Madrid, and finishing late, those experiences are going to show you what you're going to have in the future, not just when you're in an internship or when you're working for years, but those experiences are going to be there. I think that's the best experience that I had in the labs.
Yeah, I think what you highlighted is very important, especially when you talked about how labs make you approach more the professional world and how they teach you more teamwork. Basically, my question would be, do you think every IE student should consider enrolling in the labs?
Well, I think it depends on the bachelor, but I think when you're, from my experience in the communication bachelor, I think yes, for sure, because it's going to help you as well to decide which path are you taking in the future. So because at the beginning, for example, when I started at university, I wanted to become a journalist. Then when I experienced communication lab, I wanted to focus on the audiovisual part. And in the second year as well, I wanted to focus on this audiovisual world. And it helped me at the really early stages to understand what was my path, what was the thing that I wanted to do in the future. Because, for example, when you do an internship on third year or in fourth year, well, you realize as well that maybe what you're doing is the correct way, or maybe that you want to study a different master or whatever. But when you feel it from the very first moment at first year, it's really helpful, because you don't have to go through second or third or fourth year to understand but to realize what your future career work is. Because maybe you're interested in filming and wanting to be a filmmaker, but when you realize that you have to spend 8 hours a day filming just a clip of 20 seconds, then you realize, well, that's not my dream job, or maybe I want to become an advertiser or want to be creative, or it helps you to shape your future. Absolutely. Now I'm feeling it now, that last year or when I finish my degree. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. I completely agree that labs, since they are very practical, can give you an idea about which orientation you would like to take, no matter the bachelor. All right, so would you please tell us more concretely how your lab, which is the communication lab especially, helped you obtain your current job? And do you think it will help you get in future job offers?
Well, I started working at my current company 2 years and a half now, but I started my internship in May 2018. So it was finishing my third year. And I'm quite sure that it helped me, because when I first had the job interview for the internship here at Tinkle, I'm pretty sure that it would have been different if I hadn't done the labs before, if I hadn't had the experience dealing with clients, not with clients, but just with higher positions, because I did my interview with my boss, who is my boss nowadays. So I'm quite sure that when she asked me that how I'm used to work and how I'm used to manage difficult situations, I realized that I work a lot in teams during the labs, and I work a lot supporting other areas in the labs, not only my area. For example, I was focusing on camera while I was doing my lab, but I also supported editing. In my interview, when I was asked how I used to work in teams, I was absolutely Sure, I was absolutely confident about working in teams is what works better for me. And I was absolutely confident that multitasking or supporting other teams, that's what was also one of my skills. And of course, when I started my internship and then my current job, all the teamwork and all the multitasking, or all the experience I had dealing with clients, those helped me a lot because I started the first day working knowing how to talk with them, how to establish timings, how to schedule everything, how to work daily.
Yeah. So well, we can see that the labs helped you a lot approaching your professional career anyway, and this is very optimistic. So yeah, and we're like very happy for you, and that you had a very great experience with the labs, especially the communication lab. So would you like to keep your current job at Tinkle, or do you hope to grow in the near future and expand to other companies?
Nowadays, I'm feeling really happy here at Tinkle because I always say the same, that when I did the internship and then I had to go to Leeds for an exchange, it was my fourth year, and they decided to wait for me. Like from that period of time, they waited for me. And when I came back from Leeds and started my last semester of fourth year, I started working here at the same time studying my last year. I'm always going to be really thankful for them because they gave me the opportunity to keep working while I was studying. And I'm seeing nowadays I have a really good growing opportunities. I started the year like dealing with new clients. Well, I'm a community manager. I'm in charge of content on social media, on blogs. I deal with corporate blogs. So in charge of another client, and in January, I think I was offered a new account. And I saw at that moment that I'm still really young, and they offer me new responsibilities, a new challenge. And I'm seeing nowadays that I have really good growth opportunities here. But at the same time, I also want to keep studying. I'm planning to start intensive course of creativity at the School of Creativity. And I'm planning to study as well, do the both things at the same time, like study and work at the same time, because I have experience with that, and I know that everyone can study and work at the same time if you don't know how to schedule your day and your studies. But yeah, I'm so glad that I'm here. And nowadays things are going through difficult times. Like, it's not easy to find a job nowadays because of the pandemic. I'm so grateful that I'm this company.
Okay, that's perfect. We're really happy for you too, and we wish you the best in your career. So to end with the interview, we like to play a little game to have a little fun. So I'm gonna ask you a question. It's kind of a little quiz question about IE University to see how well you know your previous university. So let's roll the roulette. My question is, how many nationalities are represented in IE? 112, 96, or more than 130 nationalities?
I think it was 96.
No, I'm sorry. You might have confused yourself. We understand you have a lot of work, so you might not skip all the correct information. Well, actually, there are more than 130 nationalities that are represented every year on IE.
Well, things have changed since I graduated like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
things have changed.
All right. So thanks a lot for your time, Raul, and we wish you the best.